Catastrophic and disastrous Hurricane Laura is closing in on landfall on the Gulf Coast. Hello, I'm Mike Nasa with this 11:30 p.m. update. Wednesday night, early Thursday morning is just about upon us. We have an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane about to make landfall in extreme southwestern Louisiana. That is Hurricane Laura, a Category 4 storm. Here's the latest as of 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern from the National Hurricane Center. Laura is at 29.0 north, 93.2 west, winds 150 miles per hour. 156 and higher is a Category 5, so this is at the upper edge of Category 4, extremely powerful. It's moving north-northwest at 15, and it should be making landfall in the hurricane warning area within the next couple of hours. We have a hurricane warning from San Luis Pass, Texas to Intracoastal City, Louisiana, a hurricane watch from east of Intracoastal City to west of Morgan City, and of course the biggest threat, the storm surge warning from Freeport, Texas to the mouth of the Mississippi River. You can see hurricane force winds impinging there on the coast. Tropical storm winds already affecting much of southern Louisiana, and that water level rise is already beginning. Oh, look at this satellite imagery of our hurricane. You see these dark clouds here? These are cold cloud tops surrounding a very vivid, well-defined eye, and it looks like this system is just going to maintain this disastrous 150 mile per hour intensity into landfall. There's not a lot of time left for it to weaken, and so, yeah, there's nothing we can do now. Hopefully everybody got out of harm's way, and just going to have to wait and see what Mother Nature does, but right now it looks like a very disastrous strike on the coastline there. You can see the radar, definitely tornado threat there. Look at these tornado warnings popping up around Cameron, Louisiana, and this is going to continue throughout the night and into the morning, as whenever we have landfalling storms, we get the risk of tornadoes. Of course, the worst winds in Laura are right in this eye wall here, and that is where those winds are sustained in some areas at 150 miles per hour. Landfall is where the center of the center crosses the coast, and that looks to be in the general vicinity of Cameron, Holly Beach, Creole, maybe Grand Chenier. You guys are just going to be really, really hit hard. And a lot of these water rises are already occurring. Those places might be underwater as we speak. Now, what kind of water rises? Well, 15 to 20 feet. Areas like Calcasieu Lake, Sabine Lake, Sea Rim State Park, Johnson Bayou, a lot of these areas are already starting to go underwater, and again, this is just going to spread all the way inland, 30, 40 miles in, and especially to the right of the eye of the hurricane is where you're going to have the worst conditions. So even Vermilion Bay, Intracoastal City, Morgan City, 8 to 12 feet, and that doesn't include the waves on top of that, okay? We have the threat of waves crashing, rainfall moving in, and flood outlook. This is just going to be a very, very wet tropical cyclone. So even though the winds of Category 4 are disastrous, water's the main killer. This is one of the tidal gauges out there on the Louisiana coast near Calcasieu Pass, Louisiana. And I'm telling you, look at this. We are already getting into major flooding, and the storm hasn't even made landfall yet. So we are going to see significant storm surge, up to 20 feet, maybe higher in some areas, and that's just devastating. Devastating. As I mentioned, the winds are bad. We were dealing with a storm that was a Category 3 today, and then it strengthened all the way up to the upper edge of Category 4. So right now we are definitely in a catastrophic wind event. So this is going to be one of the strongest wind hurricanes ever to hit the state of Louisiana in 150 years of recorded history. So it's very, very nasty. Now, the bottom line with Hurricane Laura as of 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, number one, unsurvivable storm surge with large and destructive waves will cause catastrophic damage from Sea Rim State Park, Texas to Intracoastal City, Louisiana, including Calcasieu and Sabine Lakes. This surge could penetrate 40 miles inland from the immediate coast. Think about that, 40 miles. And floodwaters will not fully recede for several days after the storm. This is like disappearing land here. Number two, hurricane force winds are expected in portions of the warning area with the catastrophic winds where the eye wall moves on shore. Hurricane force winds are going to spread inland with damaging gusts into areas of extreme eastern Texas and western Louisiana through Thursday. And number 3, as mentioned before, widespread flash flooding, small streams, urban areas, roadways. It's already beginning and is expected to continue overnight into Thursday, far eastern Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. And this is also going to contribute to moderate freshwater river flooding. Remember, a landfalling hurricane has a lot of rain, even if it's not moving too slow, and that's going to move into the middle Mississippi, Ohio, and Tennessee valleys through Saturday. You can see the track here as Laura gets caught up into the westerly flow and moves towards the east coast. The area impacted the most, again, is right here along the coastline of Louisiana, Grand Chenier, Creole, Cameron, Holly Beach. Some of these areas are known for notoriously devastating surges. Holly Beach, you got wiped out 15 years ago by Hurricane Rita. Cameron lost hundreds of people back in '57 from Hurricane Audrey. That was a June hurricane. With Laura, it looks like this whole area, Hackberry, all the way up to Lake Charles, is going to get hit really hard. Lake Charles, you're going to get really pounded once that eye makes landfall. So again, if you are still in that area, make sure you're at high ground and make sure you're hunkered down. And this isn't just a Category 1 hurricane moving through, it's a high-end Category 4, and once this eye wall gets to you, it's going to cause a lot of destruction. A lot. But I'm Mike Naso. That's the latest right now on Hurricane Laura. Again, you can see just a classic, intense, devastating Gulf Coast hurricane, one of the historic Gulf hurricanes, on final approach here to southwestern Louisiana, with winds of 150 miles per hour. Stay tuned for further updates as this disastrous hurricane makes landfall.